Yoshi, put it away.
Okay.
All right. On Google Classroom, after you take the gingerbread house competition thing, I'm going to leave it up for today and tomorrow because we find out the winners on Friday, and then I'll take it down. If you scroll down to social studies, we started our assignment called Ancient Chinese Geography. We did parts 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to finish that today and do 4, 5, and 6. Okay? So we're going to open up the Google Slides as well as the PDF so that we have the information.
It's not called a Google PDF.
No, it's just called a PDF.
I'm gonna call it a Google PDF. You're still not done. Or did you submit another response?
Okay.
You did that.
So on Monday, we did all of slide number 2. We talked about the Tibetan Plateau, what the geography was like and what the climate was like and how the ancient people survived there. Then we also talked about the deserts, how the geography was, the climate, and how people survived. And then on slide number 3, we talked about the Manchurian Plain. We did the geography and the climate as well as how people survived. And then today we're going to do the rest of slide number 3 and slide number 4. Okay? Well, you should have been answering the questions because writing down what I wrote down is not answering the questions. Okay, I'm going to scroll down to the correct one. So the first one we're starting with today is the Yellow River. Okay?
The Yellow River?
Yellow River.
Bishop Jones, I need to do this one after. That's the second yellow.
Okay.
I need to go back to that one, so I'm going to do the other side. Oh, yellow. Yeah,
All right.
that must be the bathroom river. The bathroom river? Yeah, the yellow. Yeah, you don't get it? No. The one that's yellow?
All right. Okay, so the Yellow River. So we have the Manchurian Plain on the left side of slide number 3, and we're going to talk about the Yellow River on the right side. And again, we are going to describe the geography and the climate. So it's the same questions, again, that you are answering. Geography, which is what it looks like.
Isn't it polluted, Miss Jones? Yellow river.
I'm sure it is polluted, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start reading it to you guys. I'm also just going to move this a lot closer. It feels very far away. It's not going to be the best angle of me, but whatever. No, I cannot see myself. All right, the Yellow River. If you look at the picture on the right, it does show where it is. It's kind of in the northern part of China. It's really long. Are you kidding me? We're literally learning about ancient China. Why would it not be China? Oh my God. Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah, ready. Okay.
Known officially as the Huanghi River, the Yellow River starts high up in the Tibetan Plateau and flows through the northern end of China proper. Due to the annual flooding, the river provides a very fertile basin that has given life to millions of settlers. The North China Plain, which covers around 158,000 square miles, provided ancient people with an abundance of grasslands for grazing animals, as well as an ideal environment for farmers to cultivate corn, sorghum, millet, maize, cotton, and a variety of vegetables. The fertile soil is coupled with a moderate climate. Summers see an average of 77 to 82 degrees, while winters average around 28 to 44. As expected, it is fertile As expected, due to its fertile environment, this plain has become one of the most densely populated regions in the world. So it does talk a little bit about the weather. What did we learn about the weather in that paragraph? Okay, warm in summer, cold in winter. Good. Good. And then if you kind of think back about that paragraph, Is it mountainous? Is it like ocean?
It's grassland.
It's grassland. Good. So go ahead and you can be filling out that first one already with the geography. So what did it look like? Was it mountains? Was it rivers? Was it plains? Was it grassland? Was it desert? So what did it look like? And then the climate we kind of talked about. What was it like in the summer and what was it like in the winter? I'm going to give you about 2 minutes on this one.
What's Graceland?
Grassland is like...
No, Graceland.
Graceland is not.
Yeah, it is. What is it? Okay, I'll try to spell grass. G-R. Okay, but I put.
Oh, I don't know. But that's not right.
Look at, see? Hold on. Oh, it did show it. It seems pretty nice. It says something about Graceland or something.
I don't know for sure. There's a Greenland.
No, it wasn't that. It was something else. I don't know.
There's Iceland. I don't know.
Warmland.
Ireland.
Ironman. Iron Man. Iron Man. Mickey Mouse. Clubhouse. Come inside and put inside. Come inside and put inside.
Don't they start calling like Alright, here we go.
So, you should by now have what the geography was like of the Yellow River, as well as what the weather was like, the climate. We're going to keep reading this one, and you should, as we're reading, be able to figure out, oh my gosh.
I already put one thing in that one when I said they grew crops.
Yeah, so for, okay, hang on.
Oh, copy that? Yeah.
For the bottom one, you need to talk about how the ancient people survived here. Okay, so I am going to go and read that, and you guys will fill it out. So our next paragraph says, it should be no surprise that the fertile plain around the Yellow River attracted outside invaders. In fact, Emperor Qin first ordered construction of the Great Wall in northern China in 210 BCE to protect from the invading Mongols. The wall was extended to its current state by the Ming dynasty in the 1300s. The North China Plain has often been nicknamed the Land of Yellow Earth because of the yellow silts left behind by the Huanghi River or the Yellow River. The great winds of the Gobi Desert blow the silt south where it is deposited into the river. The silt makes the river appear with a yellow tint. In fact, these windstorms have caused the Gobi Desert to expand drastically since the ancient times. Today, many Chinese leaders have grown concerned about how fast the Gobi Desert is expanding into the North China Plain. Despite their concern, the Yellow River continues to provide for the Chinese people as over 15 hydroelectric power plants generate electricity from the river's flow. We can relate that back to our science. We talked about water power and how it can create electricity, right? So, yeah. Well, it's because the dust from the desert is blown into the river, so kind of makes it yellow.
Miss Jones,
Yeah.
you're cutting out a lot.
Don't know how to fix that. Well, no, I did not see that, Gabriel. Okay, that's all right, Gabriel. If you need to head out at 1, that's fine. But if I keep cutting out, I'm sorry. At least you know that you got to read it and fill out the questions. At least it's all the same, right?
Okay, bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Right. And then it says, these silt deposits have played a crucial role in a variety of ways to China's history. The deposits made the land fertile, which created jealousy among foreigners and led to foreign invasions. The Great Wall was constructed in order to repel these invading groups. Today, the valuable farmland has led to one of the world's most densely populated regions. However, the most significant way that this silt has impacted Chinese history is that the Yellow River has also been called the cradle of the Chinese civilization. It was the river that led to one of the first great human civilizations. Even though the fertile areas along the banks of the Huanghi have helped farmers over the years, it has also earned the nickname China's Sorrow. The river has flooded over 1,000 times and has brought much death and destruction to the region. The main reason the floods occur is due to the silt that settles at the bottom of the river, thus causing the water levels to rise. One of the worst floods occurred in 1887 and killed an estimated 900,000 people. That's a big flood. They killed almost 9,000 people. Yeah. Huh. It is almost 1 million people that died, yeah. Just because of that one flood. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to write about how they survived there, so come up with what you can. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes, and then we'll look at our next one.
And they had the Great Wall.
That's true, they did have the Great Wall. Can you please stop saying it like that? Okay. I'm going to give you a minute to fill that out, please. I don't think we ever learn about ancient Japan. No.
Oh, nice.
There's one personal library in your room.
Yeah, it's not even like.
I swear I saw celebrity have that as a background. Yeah. No, I think I saw celebrity have that as a background. I don't know if they wanted to come hide it.
All right. Let's go ahead and look at slide number 4 so that we can finish this up. On the left one, our next station is the Yangtze River.
Miss Johnson, that's our learning about the Great Wall of China, and that's where Mulan happened. I said to keep them safe from the northern invaders.
That works.
Oh, yes.
Okay. The Yangtze River. Again, on this one, we are going to be doing geography. So what it looks like. I'm going to write this again because so geography. Okay. So on this one again, you guys will be answering what the geography looks like, as well as what the climate is like. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading this one. The Yangtze River is located in southern China and flows through a very desirable part of China. The river has attracted an abundance of ancient people to settle along in the nearby basin. In fact, today this area is home to 1/3 of China's entire population. We did the Yellow River last time. This is the Yangtze River. Yep. Nope, it was just still the same slide. In fact, for today, this area is home to 1/3 of China's entire population. The basin that surrounds the Yangtze experiences 4 distinct seasons and are evenly distributed. Weather is coming up. Summers are warm and wet and have an average temperature of 88 degrees Fahrenheit, while the winters are fairly mild with an average temperature of just 47 degrees. The moist, humid environment of the basin makes the cultivation of rice an ideal crop. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple minutes to talk about the weather there, because they did talk about the weather.
I missed the whole thing.
It's the last two sentences.
I missed that whole.
It's very humid.
It is pretty humid.
I just thought, warm, wet, most humid.
Okay, make sure you're filling out this part. I'll give you about 1 more minute. Tell me what the weather was like. We haven't talked too much about the geography.
Wasn't it kind of hot?
Yep.
Yeah, kind of. Seems like China doesn't get very cold.
No, I don't think so.
Like over here.
Wasn't it grassy land or was it mostly water?
Is there a lot of snow like this right now?
No, there's none.
It melted?
Yeah, it's barely snowed in Hawaii. All right, I'm gonna keep reading. Okay. Did my dog or cat lick it?
Yeah, no, like it.
Oh, my dog likes the snow, yes. All right, the Yangtze River, also known as the Huanghi River in China, starts high up in the Tibetan Plateau and weaves its way east through south-central China. From the plateau where it begins to where it empties into the East China Sea, the Changjiang is measured to be around 3,900 miles long. This makes the Changjiang the longest river in all of Asia and the third longest river in the world. In fact, its name translates to literally mean long river. The length of this great river has led to the basin having some of the highest levels of biodiversity in the world, ranging from dense forests to fertile wetlands. The great length of this river has also sustained numerous local communities with fresh drinking water and has provided easy access throughout the central China. Was there anything in there about the geography, what the geography might look like? What did you get, Charlie?
3,900 miles long.
Okay, the river. You can talk about how long the river is. Okay, so go ahead and write that a little bit. Huh? No, but if you find something that you can fill out in the bottom, that's totally fine.
Long.
Is that everybody?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Miss Jones' computer is different than us.
She has a Dell one.
Yeah. We have that too.
So they basically adapted.
All right, so let's keep reading. They talked a little bit about the geography of the river, right? And then they talked a little bit about the weather. Have they talked too much about ancient times with this?
No.
Not really, so let's see what we got out of it. It says the basin has very fertile soil from the occasional flooding of the Yangtze River, while the Changjiang floods much less often than the Huanghi.
Peter, sorry for the interruption. Just wanted to make an announcement that there will be a mandatory staff meeting at 2:25 in Ms. Jones' room. A mandatory staff meeting at 2:25 in Ms. Jones' room.
Yeah, me down.
No, it's just because I have a nice open room. Anyway, for example, in 1931, the Yangtze River floods were some of the worst on record. Over 2 feet of rain fell from July to August in 1931, and the devastating result ended with 3.7 to 4 million people dying. That's a lot of people. Floods have been controlled significantly with the completion of the Three Gorges Dam project in 2012. This has allowed agriculture to thrive in the region, but today over 70% of China's rice and 40% of its grain come from the basin surrounding the Yangtze River.
Wait, so do they use
So,
dirty water?
they did survive off of rice and grains. Yes, Elijah. Huh? And fertile soil. They needed really good soil, right? This part right here, if you didn't find anything about ancient people, that's kind of as much as you're going to get about how they survived there for that bottom part. Yoshi, you going to type this out?
This one didn't really give that much information.
No, there was not a whole lot of information about ancient times in this one. Oh my goodness. There we go. So on this one, how did ancient people survive here? Feel what you can on that one. There's not a whole lot. Okay. I'll give you about 2 minutes to work on this one, and then we'll read our last part together.
Bro, what if you just punch someone?
Keep working, please.
I bet she does realize it.
No?
I probably not. Well, I think she does because well, now I think that she does.
Can we stop discussing things that don't concern us and just get to work on what I asked you to work on, please? And about 1 more minute, and then we will do our final page here and be done.
The worms. They're called silkworms. They are? Yeah. How are they called silkworms? Like worms. They got that silkworm.
Alrighty. Our last one is the Pearl River.
The pearl.
Oh my gosh, come on.
That's what happens to mine. That's all I know.
There we go.
The pearl.
Okay, the Pearl River. Okay, again, on this one, you need to be listening for what the geography was like. So what did it look like? What was the land like? And the climate. What was the weather like? Or is the weather like? Okay. And then if they talk about it during it, you can, oh my goodness, this thing does not want to do this today.
It's like fighting a tiger. The machines are gonna take over.
There it goes. Okay. Again, you can be looking for the question of how did ancient, okay, spell it right. Okay. People, oh my gosh, people survive here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and read this and give you a couple of times to, fill out your work. So, the Pearl River. Can you stop focusing on something that's not about you? Next time you do that, I'm taking 5 minutes away from your free time. So, the Pearl River, also called the Huanghi, I don't know how to say it, gets its name from the large boulder that rests in the river's path as it passes through the city known as Guangzhou. Ancient people refer to the large rock island as Pearl due to its round, smooth appearance from the years of erosion that had polished its surface. While the river gets its name from the small section that passes through Guangzhou, it actually is quite larger. The river ranks as the third longest in China at over 1,200 miles. So anything about the weather there?
No.
What about what it looks like?
No.
A little bit. You could talk about maybe how long the river is or what is in the middle of it. That's a pretty big deal. Okay.
Wait, how many feet long is it? 1,000.
Miles, though, not feet.
That's a long way.
All right. The next paragraph says, the basin around the Pearl River experiences a fairly consistent and moderate climate. In the summer, the average sits around 76 degrees, and in the winter, the temperature average is around 55 degrees. Being a subtropic zone, the region receives plenty of rainfall as well. As a result, rice is a major crop in this region, both today and in ancient times. There's the thing about ancient times. There's also some stuff about weather there. So I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to use those first two paragraphs, and you can start filling out those boxes, please.
I'm thankful for Chinese guys.
Okay.
Because we got rice.
Okay.
Yeah, we got rice.
Let's go ahead and fill out those couple boxes right there, please.
I'm gonna ask my mom to have rice.
Your boxes, they can fill them out already?
Yeah, those first two paragraphs, you can probably fill out at least a couple of things in both boxes.
So we also have farms like tobacco, sugarcane, peanuts. I just put the river is 1,200 miles long. I'm just gonna hold it.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
Okay, about 1 more minute, see what else you can fill out on those boxes, and then I will read the rest of it for you. Tobacco. That's my bag to sit on the stool. That's not easy. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read these last two paragraphs, two paragraphs, and then you guys can finish up. Make sure you have all the information on these slides. Yep. Says, since the river system weaves in and out of the mountains, the land that is inhabitable is very valuable. On the land that is farmed, tobacco, sugarcane, and peanuts are grown in large quantities, as well as rice. Rivers also provided an abundance of freshwater fish for ancient people, as well as those living today. There's some answers about ancient times. Perhaps most importantly, the basin around the river has provided an ideal climate for silkworms to thrive. The silkworm produces the valuable silk cocoon that was highly sought after by traders in ancient times. More about ancient times. So important was this good that merchants from Europe and Africa traveled thousands of miles across the legendary Silk Road to obtain it. The Pearl River has several different sources as many tributaries merge to form the Great River. The river empties into the South China Sea and allowed ancient people easy access to travel via the water. More about ancient people. The river has allowed modern people to travel easily as well, which has contributed in part to the growth of Hong Kong as a major international city. Okay, there's all of our information. That one did have a lot. You have quite a bit about how they survived there. There's quite a bit about how people survived there and about the geography. So your goal is to finish up this set of Google Slides if you did not get all 6 of the different stations done. If you are done, you can get it turned in. So yeah, those of you that are online, if you are done, you may